Hey everyone, and welcome to today's replay. And today we have got a game in the STRV 74. Now, the replay isn't really the focus of today, but about the STRV anyway. So it's a tier 6 Swedish medium tank, and in my opinion, it's one of the best tier 6 medium tanks you can get in the game. And it's got nothing to do with the mobility or the armor, because they're kind of mediocre, but when you look at the gun on this tank, it gets a little 75mm with 148 millimeters of penetration with 150 alpha damage, and that goes up to 200 millimeters with the premium ammo. But it's the aim time and the accuracy of this gun that makes it. It's got 0.33 base accuracy, which is almost unheard of for a tier 6 medium tank. And it's also got a 1.9 second aiming time, which is also a really good stat for a tier 6 tank. And probably the biggest thing about this tank is it's got 15 degrees of gun depression, which means you can work ridge lines so effectively in this tank. It's probably the best ridgeline warrior at like the lower to mid tiers. And I love this tank so much that I went for the third mark of excellence on it. Now, that's a big thing for me. Because I didn't really play the game much back in 2018, 2017, and I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but I haven't actually third marked a tank in about 2 years. And I think the last tank I third marked was, I'm tempted to say, either the Easy 8 or the Cromwell. I do suck at third marking, I have to admit it. Like, I don't have the patience, and for some reason it's just not really happened for me in the higher tiers. I can get a second mark easily, and I can get to like 92.5% on any tank, but that final 2.5%, I just fall flat on my face in the mud basically. And it's something I really want to work on my gaming this year. So I want to third mark at least 10 tanks this year. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know that. I put out like little targets for World of Tanks this year, and one of them is to third mark at least 10 vehicles. And yeah, let's talk about third marks of excellence anyway. So they've been in the game a long time now. In fact, it's hard to remember when they exactly put it in, but I know it was probably around about 2015, 2016, and in my opinion anyway, it's probably one of the best features that Wargaming has ever put into the game. Now, why is that, you may say? Because the average player who doesn't care about this sort of stuff will probably say, oh, it just makes players camp more, it makes premium ammo spammed a little bit more, and that is true. But the longevity it makes, so imagine this, you've finished all the tanks in the game, you've got every single tank unlocked, and before then, what did you do? There was pretty much nothing. The end game was unlocking all the tier 10s. And when Wargaming introduced this feature, it gave players who had completed the entire game, who were literally twiddling their thumbs as to what to do, it gave so much more longevity in the game, because it gave players a reason to buy back these lower to mid tiers and play them consistently, because they want to get that third mark. It's a nice thing to have on your tank. It definitely is a really nice thing to have on your tank. And well, as I say, I don't really have a lot of tanks third marked. I think you could literally count the amount of tanks I've got third marked on two hands now. So yeah, I'm bad, I know, but yeah. So this year, stay tuned, hopefully we'll get third marking a few tanks. There's one tank in particular that I've been trying to free mark for about 2 years now, and it's just never happened for me. And Chief will know this, my friend Nick, because he has been on the receiving end of just me smashing my keyboard almost, because game's not working out for me. and I think at one point on the Centurion I was at 94.8, and then again I just fell flat on my face. And he found it hilarious, but I certainly bloody well didn't, did I? So yeah, back to the game anyway, and so it's 4-4 now, and yeah, we've picked up 1,480 damage, which ain't bad in this thing, to be fair. And I think at this point in this game, it was still displaying around about 94.8%, 94.7 I'm tempted to say. But this is the thing about third marking. You've got to be so patient, let tanks come into positions where you can do the damage, not take damage back. That's the thing about third marking. You have to let the game flow. You have to stick with the flow of the game. And so I go for this T-29. I want to get at side turret, and I see him aiming to me. I say no, no, no. Even though I'm on full health, I do not want him to take all my health off me. And this is where I make a decision to go for the Challenger. Now this could be a really big mistake because we're both on same about our hit points. I get a hit into him and I've got to start trading with him. This is a trading game right now. Whoever misses or bounces, that could be basically the game for them. So we managed to chack him. He rolls high on me, but he hasn't killed me, and I knock him down. So we've got the T-29. There's also a Death Toaster somewhere, and he's not been spotted yet. So I'm really worried about this Death Toaster. But right now, I know this is when it was displaying about 94.8, something like that. So I'm getting really nervous at this point. And when you bounce off the side of a T-29, you just know, I'm going to crash out here. And the Death Toaster is spotted. He took a shot at me, but he probably missed, and I miss again. This game's falling apart for me. And I know that probably the next shell I get in the T-29 could make the difference. So I'm just trying to find this T-29. I'm really nervous at this point, I've got to admit. So make a poke over. That was a dangerous poke thinking about it, to try and spot the Death Toaster. And I know this game's lost because the T-29 is on too much full health, and he basically just on the move, top of my turret. Yeah, why not? So that's the game. It's not, as I said at the start, it's not been about the replay today. It's just been talking about third marking tanks and how I love this thing, the STRV 74, even though we're looking at a slightly blown up image of it. So anyway, that's the game, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. So even though it was a defeat, we managed to pick it up, boys. I can't say how happy I was to pick this up. We picked up 2,800 damage pretty much, which is quite impressive in a tier 7 game. And we lost credits because, I'm not going to lie, my accuracy was absolutely appalling this game. 38 shots fired, 26 hits, only 19 pens. That was so bad. Without doubt, I lost the game because of my bad marksmanship, but I don't care because I've got the third mark. So that's the replay for today. And tell me, how many tanks have you third marks? Because I know I haven't free marked a lot. But stay tuned. After I unlock all my tier 10s this year, third marking will become a part of the content on this channel. So guys, that's it, and I'll see you on the next one.